I am getting this started. Okay. All right. So thank you all for being here. My name is Samantha, and I'm the Financial Wellness Coordinator. And I am joined today by Paul Taylor, who is General Manager of Bon Appetit, and Catherine Stuck, who is the Cafe Manager here on campus. And we kind of wanted to, I'm admitting folks as I'm doing this in case you see me distracted. We're going to cover a number of things, and we're going to start off. Paul and Catherine wanted to talk about the different meal plan options here at Denison and the dining halls and how they compare to Slater and Silverstein, and how these meal plans were kind of designed to be managed. And then I have some information and resources to share around menu planning and budgeting, especially if you have a low or no meal plan and you plan on purchasing, items at the grocery store to make your own meals as kind of an overall part of your kind of food needs for the semester. And then we have some new resources to share with you that we're really excited about. And definitely we'll have time for questions at the end. As we're talking, if you have a question pop up, go ahead and just put it in the chat, and I'll make sure to monitor that, and we can, stop and take those along the way as well. So I will hand it over to Paul and Catherine.
Oh, you want me to start with the meal plans, or are you going
to? Oh, please. That'd be great, Catherine. Go ahead. Thank you.
This is perfect. Yeah. So I'm glad that some of you joined today. We really appreciate that. I do believe when you come to Denison, you are required to have a meal plan for your food options. There are several different options available to you. I'm just going to briefly go through a few of them. Big Red is a real popular meal plan for people. A lot of my swim and dive team members are on this plan. They'll come in after their workout at 6 a.m. And just briefly for continental breakfast, and then they'll be back at 9 for a full breakfast. You can have unlimited swipes or unlimited. You can come to the dining halls as many times as you want. You can go to Hoffman or Curtis as many times as you want. It's an unlimited, basically, meal plan. And you have 150 flex dollars that you can use in addition to that. But basically, that plan is an unlimited plan for Huffman and Curtis. If you don't sign up for a meal plan, you're automatically enrolled in the Hill program. And your meal plan cost for the Hill is $3,060. That's what they automatically enroll you on the Hill if you do not sign up for a meal plan. However, your cost is $3,060. The amount of dollars that you have to spend in the for dining is $1,805. That difference is used by Denison for building maintenance, equipment maintenance, grounds, around the dining hall maintenance. So it's used by Denison to maintain the facilities and our equipment. So that's where you see that difference and that discrepancy in those amounts. The Hill offers you approximately 16 meals a week, and we base that on a $750 spend. Breakfast in the halls is $650. So when you come in and you're going to eat a full breakfast, that may include your fresh cut fruit, yogurt, granola, your hot breakfast, your delectable and delicious bakery items, orange juice, our world famous cup of chocolate milk. You get all that for $6.50. That's quite a bargain. You don't have to eat all of that at a time, but it's unlimited. Basically, you can eat as much as you want for $6.50 for your breakfast. Same thing goes for lunch. $7.50 is what we charge for lunch in the halls. And so if you're on declining, $7.50 a swipe. That includes your salad bar, your made-to-order deli sandwich, homemade soups, items from the grill, our season station items, again, the delectable and delicious desserts made right below my office in our bakery here. And your fountain drinks and or milk or juice, whatever you'd like. So that's all for $7.50. And the same goes for dinner. So that's where you really use your declining dollars wisely. Think about your spend. Slater has a lot of their things are a la carte. However, they do have bundles that are equivalent to those $6.50, $7.50, and $8.50 meals. So you just have to really plan your spend, basically, is what I advise you to do with each and every one of the dining plans that are available to you. And when you enter the cafes or Slater, we have a budgeting worksheet that I believe Sam's going to present to you in a little bit. And it basically, it tells you, okay, this is week 1. This is where you should be with your balance regarding your declining dollars. And it just kind of shows you. And then we're going to talk about an exciting new program that's upcoming and later on in the webinar that I think you'll like. That's going to be an app that's available to you to monitor, track your spend as well. So you have 2 weeks in the semester after you get here in the semester to make a change to your meal plan. You can do that on My Dennison. Go to My Dennison, My Apps, My Housing, Meal Plan, and select or change my meal plan. Or you can go to Doan and in the housing office, and they will help you with that as well. But you have to do it within the first 2 weeks. As you all know, after the first semester, if you had any declining dollars left over in the fall, that rolled over to your spring semester, to this semester. If you have any declining left at the end of your spring semester, that will revert back to Dennison. So just be mindful of your spend, and don't ever hesitate to ask us if you have any questions or concerns, because we're more than happy to attempt to find the answers that you may have. Does that help?
Thanks, Catherine. I think that was a good overview of the plan. Thank you.
I had the additional, because these were alternative meal plans, right? These are for seniors.
Right. I didn't really cover that. I mean, but yeah, there are additional meal plans for seniors. A lot of those have their kitchenettes and, things of that sort, and they may be, so these are less expensive probably than the ones that are available to undergrads.
And then there's a link here as well, which might be helpful, which is to a brochure that Bon Appetit created, it right, that has a lot more detail about each meal plan.
Right.
Did anybody have any questions, I guess, about any of the meal plans or management of those meal plans? All right, we'll keep going. And then this was the chart that I think you mentioned as well.
Right. Yeah. This is very, very, very helpful. It's located at the front entrance of your cafes, and Slater has it as well at each of the cashier stations. And most of the kids are familiar with this that have been here. It's exciting because we have some fresh new faces, here on campus that may not have been able to have a visa last semester, and they're excited to be on the Hill for the very first time. So we're trying to really welcome them and walk them through and guide them, and how to track their spending as well.
You mentioned Slater and Silverstein,
right,
being separate or a different, I guess, the way that student accounts are charged versus Meal Swipe. How are those, like the bundles you referenced, like how are they advertised? How would you know where you can get a bundle for in Slater and Silverstein?
They're posted at each of the stations, aren't they, Paul, when the bundles are available?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, when you go into Slater, there'll be some signage on the stations that'll give you, $7.50 and $8.50 bundles. So if you go in and you always want to try to keep if you want to stay on your meal plan, and make sure that at the end of the semester you don't run low. Once again, those are based off that 750 mark for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you always want to stay at 750 a meal for each of the amount of swipes that you had, like Catherine said. So we wanted to make sure that when you go to Slater and Silverstein, you can look and see, okay, well, I can get, you know, this sandwich with this side dish, which is usually chips or something healthy, hand fruit, and this beverage, all at 750. A lot of times you're actually getting a little bit of a deal there if you were to order them separately, a la carte. If you get the bundle, it's just a little bit less than the 750. So you know, but I think what we find most of what I found most of last year, almost always when a student starts running low on their declining, you know, first of all, we really try to get a hold of people. If we notice that they're way off from their spending guide, I'll try to reach out in an email and try to sit down with the student and kind of talk through, you know, what they're probably going to need to get through the rest of the semester and ways that they can add to their meal plan if needed, if they decide to do that. But mostly it's because we always find that when you go to Silverstein or when you go to Slater or when you go to Common Grounds, and when you start adding a $5, you know, coffee drink or a lot of snacks and candies and things like that from Slater, that's almost always the reason why people, you know, the students get so much, start getting off a little bit on how much they've spent so far. So once again, you know, your better deal is in both of the large halls in Curtis and Huffman, because it's an all-you-can-eat atmosphere, and you're always going to be charged just those amounts. So you just got to be really conscious when you go to Slater and Silverstein how much you're spending, and just continue to budget and look at that budgeting meal guide that we showed you, and that'll really help keep you on track.
Right.
Great, that's really helpful. Before I move on from the meal plans, did you have anything else either of you'd like to add, or?
No, I'm fine.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So we talked about the meal plans. We also, and Paul mentioned this about, you know, students, you know, running short with maybe several weeks to go sometimes, or choosing a lower meal plan that maybe doesn't meet all your food needs for the week. So I just put together some resources as far as, you know, like budget considerations. For anyone without a meal plan, which would only be a senior who's living in the apartment style housing. Sorry, I hear my son playing video games above my head. So if you hear that, ignore it. That you kind of a rough estimate would be about $40 to $90 a week. And that's outside of eating out, because that to me is like a separate line item on your budget. I'm just talking about going to the grocery store and buying grocery items that you're going to make on your own. There's a couple links here as well, which one is a short video on the Financial Wellness YouTube page that also kind of talks about managing your meal plan. So as a supplement to what Paul and Catherine just talked about. And then there's also a menu planning guide, which might be helpful because it provides like some, you know, apps that are good resources and some tips as far as, you know, planning out your meals that you're making for yourself, and resources to help with that. And again, there's actually all of this is available on the Financial Wellness site as well, which is on My Dennison. And then I'm also available to meet to talk about, you know, if you are considering changing your meal plan, or just how to manage it in the best way, that I'm definitely available to help you with that. And then I just highlighted some questions that you might need to ask yourself, you know, especially like with our COVID restrictions, students can't go to Columbus right now, so you can't go to Trader Joe's, let's say. But, we have an Aldi here in Newark. So if, once, leaving Granville and heading even into Newark is okay, then you can get to those, big box grocery stores and things like that, where groceries can be a little more economical. We have a grocery store in Granville, and it's a great one, but sometimes some of the items can end up costing you a little bit more. So just something to be aware of. And I just think when you're thinking about changing a meal plan, you should ask yourself, a bunch of questions, and think about, like, do you frequently skip meals? You just never eat breakfast. And what I think is great that Bon Appetit's done is they've given you the meal plans, but with a kind of a rough an estimate, not a rough estimate, but an estimate of how many meals a week that would cover. So it gives you a really good idea of how many meals you can get on that meal plan. So if you are a person that skips breakfast, you definitely, maybe you don't need the big red, you can go with one of the others. Are you a snacker? Like, you don't want to go in and just grab, a yogurt. That's maybe not the best use of your meal swipe. Do you have an expensive coffee habit? Maybe you want to upgrade your meal plan. And can you make food in your dorm room, or, are you open to that? And can you easily go grocery shopping? Do you have dietary restrictions or allergies? And, maybe it's a good idea to invest in an appliance like a microwave or a small fridge, and try out dorm room dining. I have a great website for that, that has some recipes that you can make without having a full kitchen available to you. So, please just email me and I'm happy to share that with you. So we just wanted to kind of finish talking to you about some of the other resources on campus. And I think Catherine's going to tell you a little bit about the food recovery program, which is a really great resource that we have.
It is a wonderful resource. Actually, right before the webcast, Jenny, who's in charge, responsible for the student, it's to organize Susie Kalinowski. I can never say her name. I'm sorry. I apologize, but she's wonderful and has done a magnificent job with this. Students actually volunteer, and Jenny's the head student she's sending an email out to the students that participated last semester. And what they do is we pull food that we're not, that we're finished with after lunch, primarily lunches and dinners. And we help recover that food. And then organizations like Salvation Army and various organizations come and are scheduled to come and pick that up. But it's run and organized by students. What our staff is trained to do is we go back and ask the chefs what is available to be recovered. And then we have our food recovery pans downstairs. So our staff will run down, get the number of pans that are necessary. We try to make it as organized as possible for these student volunteers. Their time is very precious and valuable. They're here to get, they're primarily for their education. And so it may be 10 minutes or 15 minutes out of their day. It doesn't require a lot of time, is what I'm trying to say. And we try to get them out expeditiously as possible. And they are able to have a free meal if they participate in the food recovery program as a volunteer. And so they like that if they want to take it to go or whatever, but they don't have to swipe for that. So that's, a motivational, plus for that too. So we did last semester, we recovered, it was in pounds, 3,388 pounds of food, whereas, and now that was lower because of the pandemic, obviously. That semester, or the year prior to that, it was 4,718 pounds. That's a tremendous amount, so it's a very worthwhile program. And as it doesn't require a lot of time on the students' part. We appreciate their organization and participation. Yep.
That's wonderful. I mean, I think that's such a great program.
Right.
And if you're interested, as Catherine mentioned, you can email Susie Kalinowski and she's in Click, And she's also the one who manages the food pantry, and that is open to all students. They do have open hours, I guess you'd say, Tuesdays and Fridays. Again, that information is on the financial wellness site. I think it's a great resource because they have, STEM staples. They've expanded what they offer, and it's really truly open to everybody. And if those 2 days a week that they're not or that they're open don't work for your schedule, you can always contact me, and I'm happy to arrange to meet a student there, and so they have access. And then anybody in Click as well is more than happy to take a student over. It's in the basement of Higley, is where it's located. And then I'm really excited to tell you about the Big Red Promise, which is brand new this year, and it's in collaboration between Denison and Bon Appetit, and it is a meal swipe donation program. So it's kind of funded by students and supported by students, and students benefit from it. So it's we're part of a nationwide program called Swipe Out Hunger, and it's a national organization that kind of made their whole focus is about dealing with food insecurity on college campuses. And their goal is to get campuses across the country to have meal swipe donation programs. So ours is the Big Red Promise. And again, it's on the financial wellness site, but I'm also happy to share more information with you if you contact me. And there's a application there. It's a really quick one if you'd like to be a student that donates. And then if you'd like to apply to be in the program, there's also another application that's equally as simple, and you apply to get into it once a semester. Students can donate one swipe a month, so you can donate up to, depending on the semester, four swipes in a semester. It's just getting started. The dining committee is going to start having swipe drives, so marketing it and sharing the information with students to hopefully begin to build swipe donations. And we're just going to kind of see how it goes, but we're really excited about it. And then lastly, I don't know if Paul wanted to talk about this, but we have, I think, the most exciting thing, an app to help manage meal plans.
Yeah, thanks, Samantha. One of the biggest questions we get asked is, how can we get online and see how much money we have left in our meal plan? And so there's a new app that's going to be live right around the 15th. There'll be a lot of this month. There'll be a lot of marketing behind this, so you guys will have plenty of notice and know when it actually does go live. But there's two things about the app. One is called Get Funds, and the other one is called Get Food. So Get Funds is simply you push your Get button, and it automatically will pull up your meal plan, and it'll automatically show you exactly how much you've spent. It'll give you a history of what you've spent, and it'll also show you how much you have left. So it's a really quick way to check where you're at, for budgeting. And it's it's a live app, so it's always up to date. And like I said, that'll open up, or that'll be started on the 15th is the goal right now. And we're pretty certain that it will start on the 15th, unless there's some kind of technology snag at the last minute. But I don't think it will be. You'll also be able to use your Get app, and I don't know if you can see this, but probably not. But anyway, that is it. It's a Get app, and you'll be able to. It'll show your picture. You'll also be able to use that and scan that at the desk too. There'll be a scanning spot for that. So it's a great tool. If you've been here for a while at Denison, then you know that normally the cashiers try to let everybody know, how much is left on their programs, especially, mid-semester and as we get towards the end. So this will give you all that information at a glance. The other part of the app is called Get Mobile, or Get Food. So the Get Mobile app is a app that you can order retail items from Slater, from Silverstein, or from the Nest. And it's set up just like all of those other food delivery apps that are out there right now. one difference is we don't deliver, so you do have to come to Slater to pick your food up. But you can hop on the app and you can just order what you want. And when you come down to Slater, there's going to be a table set up, and a big heated table set up, and your bag will be waiting for you, stapled with your ticket on it, and you'll already have paid for it because it's connected to your meal plan. So it's just it'll be a lot faster way for students to come and pick up food to go. And like I said, that'll be at the Nest too. So you can order your flatbread pizzas or your nachos or whatever you want at the Nest, which also opens on the 15th. We always wait. Both Diffuse and the Nest are both student run cafes. We do have people there, but it's to manage and to help. And, student schedules can be a little tricky, especially towards the end of each semester. So we always have our staff up there as well. But we wait 2 weeks so that everybody can come in and kind of get grounded before they have to go right back to work. We have a lot of students that work for us. Usually it's up to 15 hours a week. And we have openings all the time for students. I mean, I don't think we can get enough students working for us. We have the Nest, we have Slater, we have cashiers positions, we have a street team, which is, say we wanted to market the Get app, we would actually have students which are part of our street team. We pay them, they work for Bon Appetit, and they would be able to maybe set a table up at Slater during the day for a few hours. If you've seen our pop-ups around campus where we have free food giveaways, we do 3 to 4 of those a week at different places around campus. We try to do them outside of the cafe. So you might see them at the flagpole, you might see them in front of Swayze. A couple of days ago, they did one right in front of Huffman. But a lot of times we have the street team members help us with those. I think that students talk to students much more comfortably than maybe myself standing at a table. So that's why we do the street team. But you'll see this app promoted when, like I said, towards the 15th, and you guys will all have access to it, and it'll be a great new program, I think. We're excited about it. We've been working on it all summer to get it started off, and then the rest of this fall. But that's when it started, was last summer when the pandemic really, we knew it was going to be here for a while, and so we wanted to get this mobile app to help students get in and out of cafes quicker.
Thank you. That's great. So this is time where we can take questions if you have any. And then you see our contact information here as well, if you just want to follow up separately. But I'd love to hear your, thoughts on some of the stuff you've heard or any questions that you have.
I have a thought. So I really, really like the idea of the app because a lot of my friends and I were always wondering how much we have left on our meal plan and everything. So that's really nice to now have that. And I just got the app and it already shows me how much I have left. So that's awesome.
Hey, good.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we heard that was going to be live yesterday, today. So I'm glad that you've been able to go on and see that already. So
That's awesome. That's great. Tell your friends.
I will. Yeah. We've all been wondering how much do we have left from last semester? So it's been nice to be able to see it without bothering the people who are working in Silverstein.
You're never bothered. We love your questions and so don't ever
Well,
think.
thank you guys so much. Yeah, you all are very sweet. All the staff workers are always nice.
Thank you.
And I did record this. So if you have friends that weren't able to be here, I'm going to make sure and get this posted to the Financial Wellness Instagram page. And I'll also the YouTube channel. So I'll make sure to have this up for anybody, that might be interested in hearing some of these things. Any other questions or comments?
I can't think of any, but thank you guys for recording it and sending it out because a lot of my friends will probably be wondering what was discussed.
Thank you, Sarah, for your participation.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
No problem, guys. Thank you for putting it on.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you, Kate. and Janine and everybody. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Bon Appetit. It's been fun working with you and being so receptive, you know, to trying out new things like the Big Red Promise and doing webinars like this and just, you know, supporting our students with, oh, wait, there's a chat. Let's see if it's anything. Oh, yep, that's a thank you from Janine. All right. Well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for getting this and hosting this, Samantha.
Yep.
Very much.
Definitely.
Thank you
Definitely.
again. All right.
Great. Well, have a good evening.
Yep. Bye. Thanks.